Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie, and today I'm going to be talking about games that I'm excited for in the month of September. It's a new month, and there's a lot of releases this month. It's kind of crazy. I think October is actually worse, but yeah, I wanted to talk about the games that I'm excited to get to, not necessarily right away, but at some point in the near future. So let's get to it. First game, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle DLC, The Order of Giants. I loved the first game, or the main game itself. I played through it in like January, I think. And didn't really grow up on Indiana Jones, and I love Harrison Ford and Blade Runner and, of course, Star Wars. But for some reason, I never got into Indiana Jones as a series, and I only watched like the first movie. But playing through the game made me feel like I really need to go back and watch all of those movies because I think I would really enjoy them a lot. Obviously, like Indiana Jones kind of inspired Tomb Raider and Uncharted. I love Uncharted. I'm a huge Uncharted fan. So naturally, I would probably be into this. Um, but the game was a lot better than I expected it to be. And I don't usually play DLC, but I am definitely going to jump right into this as soon as it drops. I played through it on Game Pass, and I think the DLC is going to be included on there, but I could be wrong. I will buy it at some point. I just don't have, money to spend on games. So it is what it is. But I'm definitely looking forward to this. Chronos: A New Dawn. I think this one's going to be one of the games that ends up being a contender from early previews. It just seems that people like really, really liked what they played of this. And Blooper did such a great job with Silent Hill 2, from what I understand. I've not played Silent Hill 2. I have an issue with a lot of horror games, to be honest. Like, I really love horror movies and I love horror books. But for some reason, I think it's just controlling a character in a horror environment is too intense. And I think that's why I can't get into a lot of horror games. But I definitely want to try because I like horror in all other forms of media. So Cronos is kind of similar to Dead Space from what it looks like, which I have not played Dead Space either. But for some reason, this looks really good for, like, to me, and like something that I actually want to check out. Plus, you can pet cats, and that's always a plus. So why not? I also want to try out Silent Hill 2 remake by Blooper because I think maybe I could get into it. The most I've gotten with like Silent Hill is the 2006 movie, and I really liked it a lot. But Pyramid Head is scary. Okay, probably the scariest character. Um, Definitely. Just the sirens and stuff. It's I don't know if I could do Silent Hill. I think that's probably the hardest one for me. Um, of course, there's other ones too, but like yeah. Resident Evil I can deal with, but Silent Hill, I don't know. I haven't even tried, but I feel like it would be really hard. Um, that comes out on September 5th. Borderlands 4. Uh, I have to play games in order. If they have any sort of story connected, I do have to play them in order. And I've only played Borderlands 1 for the most part. I played a little bit of 3 when I had a friend was having trouble on a boss and she handed me the controller, and so I beat the boss for her. But that's really all I've got. And I really liked what I played of the first game a lot, but this is kind of like on the backlog as a series that like one that's like high up on the priority list that I really, really want to push through. I got like the whole entire collection on PlayStation Network just I want to say it was earlier this year. It was on sale. So I've got them ready to go. I just need to work my way through them and then get to Borderlands 4 at some point, but it's not going to be day one. It's probably not even going to be this year. Maybe next year. We'll see how far I get because the games are a little lengthy. So it really just depends on how many reviews I get, like how much time I have. Lengthy games sometimes take a while, and I don't usually play games back to back in a series, so that it may be a while. Um, Henry Halfhead. This comes out on September 16th. I really like the looks of this game. It looks really cool. You're basically just Henry who's half a head, and you can warp into different objects and stuff. It's kind of like a puzzle adventure game, and it looks really cool. I liked what I played of the demo. You can kind of like, you can jump into like a knife and like slice bread and then like make your breakfast and stuff. And um, it looks like you're kind of mischievous too, like going around and creating a little bit of chaos. It's kind of like a coming of age story from what it seemed like in the demo. So yeah, definitely excited for that one. Baby Steps. This is a game from Devolver. It's from the people that made Getting Over It, I think. And it's this game where you play as this guy who's like in his late 30s, and he's kind of like a couch potato living in his mom's basement. And he gets sucked into a video game world and he has to learn how to walk again. And so you have to control both of his legs, and it's a crazy physics, a weird game with a lot of quirky and kind of like absurd humor. But I really liked what I played of the demo. It was really silly, especially when he falls over and you can still kind of like move his legs around so you can kick his legs as he's like on the ground. And it's just, it's so stupid, but it's fun. So I can't wait for that. Devolver always puts out like the most bizarre games, but they usually hit pretty hard for me. So Silent Hill F. Again, I don't know if I could, but Silent Hill F looks really good, and it looks like they've kind of changed the style of gameplay a little bit. It looks more like action based than it is like survival horror. So I don't know. We'll see how that is, but and I'm not gonna play it day one. I can tell you that, but probably not anyway. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not really spending money on games right now, but again, if it becomes available on any of the services or platforms, then I will try it out at least. Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. I rage quit the first game like a month or two ago on stream because I got frustrated with this boss, but I keep thinking about it and I really want to go back to it. I don't usually have issues with 3D platformers because that's really what I grew up on. And, like in Astrobot, I went through the Master Challenge and all the difficult levels and stuff. And, but for some reason, this boss really pissed me off. And I'm just, I hate like, especially like when people are watching you, I think it makes it worse. But I do want to go back and try it again. And I think the second one looks really good too. So I'm willing to try it. So we'll see how it goes. And then finally, we've got Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice. I really don't know how to say it. Chronicles. This is the remaster that looks like a remake of Final Fantasy Tactics, which I've never played before. I've actually never really played any tactics games except for Fire Emblem The Three Houses, which was really good. I really liked it a lot. So I think I should get into more tactics based games because I do like strategy in games, and like I love Civ, and I liked Battle for Middle Earth, but that wasn't really, that was more like a, was it more like a 4X or an RTS? yeah, kind of like that. But I do like RTS games. Sometimes it really just depends on what they are. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in Final Fantasy Tactics. Again, I probably won't play it day one. I think that honestly, the only game on here that I will play day one is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle DLC and Henry Halfhead. Maybe Baby Steps, but we'll see. But it really just depends on, again, like what games I get for codes and if they end up on like any subscription services, then for sure. I know tons of people are looking forward to Silk Song. I would be if I was into Metroidvanias, but I unfortunately have not gotten into them. I think it's just because I'm not very good at them. So that is one genre that I do want to try to work my way up towards because I love the visuals and style of Metroidvanias and how flashy they are and how smooth the mechanics are. Um, but it might actually be, I'm thinking maybe Constance will be the one that gets me into it because I really enjoyed the demo for that. And I also really liked the demo for Little Nemo Guardians of Slumberland, which is also a Metroidvania. And I need to go back to Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown as well. So one of those might end up being the one that gets me into it. I've not even tried Hollow Knight, so I may try it at some point. I just don't think anytime soon because the backlog is ever growing, and then there's all these review codes and stuff that I get, so it's hard to keep up with things sometimes. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. As far as what we know about, I know that like next month's gonna be crazy. We've also got a lot of games that are still slated for 2025 without any set release dates. So who knows when those are gonna drop? Uh, but hopefully we get some release dates soon. I think we've got several showcases coming up. So yeah, what are you guys looking forward to this month? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time.